Hey everyone, it's me, Alexis. Um, Sorry, I'll turn my notifications off. So I just wanted to start this morning kind of having a late start because I've been staying up late and so I'm super tired. But I wanted to go ahead and do something productive and start my day off doing something that a producer would do rather than a consumer. I'm going to talk a little bit about that more. But yesterday I asked on my Facebook page, if I were to make a video, what would you want it to be on? And so I got a couple responses and I'll let you know which one I'm going to answer. And I'm going to dive in really deep to it because it's a question I get all the time and I would really love to have a place where I can send people to if it comes up for them again or if it gets asked. That's very resourceful and something that you can use and a resource and a place you can go to figure out how to get this thing. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you a little bit just to show you how I stay motivated. So the question that was asked was, how do you stay motivated through life? So I really love this question. Let me just make sure I got that correct. How do you stay motivated through everything? With a side frowny face. So this is a super interesting question because I feel like there's all of these wrong beliefs and wrong thoughts around motivation. So first off, I just want to put it out there that I don't think that people are born motivated. I don't I don't think leaders are born. I think that they're created. And so rather than thinking of motivation of something that you're looking for to show up for yourself and you can feel when it's there and when it's not, I look at motivation as something that I control. So for me, I seldomly feel motivated. I seldomly feel and that's a big thing, is motivation has nothing to do with your emotions. And that's where people usually don't ever find motivation or find, fleeting moments of it and then somehow lose it and they can't figure out how to get a hold of it. So I try to keep, when it comes to motivation, I try to keep my emotions completely separate from motivation because I know if I wait to feel like it, if I wait to feel like waking up and working out, which I have not done yet, if I wake up or if I wait to feel like working my business or if I wait to feel like growing and working on myself, it will never happen, or it'll only happen a few days here and there. And if you are like me and you are really hungry for success and you want to be a better person and grow at an accelerated rate because you have a really big vision and believe that the quality of your life is worth chasing so that you could do good in this world or serve others or whatever it is your goal is. Anyway, sorry about that. So, okay, so this is what I do for motivation. When I'm looking for motivation, first off, I don't wait until I feel it, but I also am, if you think about it this way, your lack of motivation is always doing push-ups. So think about it that way, your lack of motivation and your excuse muscle is always doing push-ups. So you have to constantly be out working that muscle, the excuse muscle. You constantly have to be developing your personal power. So rather than thinking about motivation, I think about how connected am I to my personal power and my personal strength? Because my personal power and my personal strength comes from my heart and not from my emotions, which we all know that emotions are ever changing. And so you don't want to put something like your goals or things you need to accomplish. You don't want to marry them with how you feel, because you can see how that's just a disaster or failure waiting to happen. And failure is not a bad thing. It's going to happen even with the tools that I teach you. But failing forward and you know, I heard a quote recently that really spoke to me, and it was, if you aren't creating new problems in your life, then you aren't taking enough action. So you should constantly be having new things come up. So think about that for a while. Like, stop and think, do you have the same issues, and are you struggling with the same thing that you were last week? Are you struggling on the same goal that you were last year or the last 5 years? Is it the same shit? And if it is, you have to be willing to self-evaluate and say, you know what, the problem isn't my motivation. The problem isn't life. The problem isn't all of these things happening around me. The problem is me. And so what we can control, when we can't control the things happening around us, and when we can't always predict how we're going to feel on a day-to-day basis, and we can't always predict how we're going to feel when certain things come up, then we have to take control and commit and marry and make a lifelong commitment to personal growth. And so that's what I'm going to share a little bit about you, about how I stay connected to my personal power, so that you can motivate yourself before you feel like it. And then I'll talk about the good stuff, which is motivation and how that comes into play. Are you leaving?
No, I'm just grabbing something.
Okay. So anyway, so let me go ahead and share a little bit with how I stay connected to my personal power. And you can get in the habit of this as well. So, okay. So let me share my screen. Desktop. Cool. So hopefully you guys can all see this. I'm just using Google Chrome right now, and I'm on tonyrobbins.com//momentum. So you all can go to tonyrobbins.com/momentum. So what this is it says right here, maximize your momentum, how to unleash the power within every day for the rest of your life. So when it comes to being in touch with your personal power and staying motivated, I hate that word. Like, let's forget about motivation for just a second. So what I do is there's a couple of things that you can, and I'm all about like, what can you implement right now? You know, perspective is a great thing to change, but without an actionable item to follow up with that change in perspective, you can easily fall back into old perceptions and old behaviors and old stories and old things that are fucking you over and keeping you staying stagnant. So one is, I have a rule that when I wake up, before I touch my cell phone and before I do anything else and before I roll out of bed, first I pray. And then I do something that a producer would do before I consume breakfast, before I consume scrolling mindlessly through social media, before I consume the daily news, which I don't watch, but before I consume emails or checking emails, or before I go to work or whatever it is, I make sure that I produce first, and that's how I start my day. So that was really hard for me to have a morning routine, and I still wouldn't consider it a morning routine. Like, I'm laying in bed, and before I grab my phone, I pray to myself silently. So it's still like a very lazy approach to starting your morning off right, but like, that's just my style, and it doesn't have to be something crazy. And so that right now is what I'm doing, and isn't like, I'm working up to doing more. So that's what works for me. So when I pray, I pray to my higher power, and that could be whatever for you, but I pray for, I say the serenity prayer, and which most of you probably know. And then I also pray that, my will is handed over to my higher power. So I'm not working through me all day and my self-will, that someone else and something bigger is in charge of that. So I really feel like that has a huge part in how my day goes. And then next, what I've been implementing after that is I make sure I start something that's more of a producer mindset. So for me, that comes down to personal development. And personal development is just super simple, is being intentional about how you are growing as a person. So lately I've been really digging the podcast app on my cell phone, and I have that on my iPhone, and I'm subscribed to a bunch of podcasts that are all about personal growth, and I really think everyone should just do Tony Robbins. He is like the personal growth expert. Everyone else will kind of just reiterate things that you've probably heard Tony say or that Tony can teach you. So I like to keep things simple and keep it all in one place. So like, for example, there's videos on how to feed your mind on his website, and then how to strengthen your body. So feeding your mind is something that you can do even when you don't feel motivated. Like we all have our cell phones. We all commute. We all spend time in the car or on a train or on a bus or whatever. So maximize that time. You can control, and just do it. You can control what you click on the internet. And since we're all always on it, choose to start your day off feeding your mind with something, and just dumping this kind of shit into your mind. And it's not like motivational, positive, like jazz. It's like real stuff that will actually teach you and educate you, much like going to college or something. So it's life education. And so this is huge for me, because if I'm not growing, then I lose my passion and I lose my motivation, and I stop working out as much, and I start thinking that I can eat gluten and get away with it. And I start feeling shitty and feeling sorry about for myself, and I start, forgetting what I'm grateful for, and I stop working as hard, and that just creates like a vicious, never-ending cycle, which like that happens, but the goal is to like minimize those as much as possible. So this is what I've been doing lately. And so yeah, feed your mind. And then the second part, if we're going to talk about motivation, this is called strengthen your body. So here's the thing is, people wait to feel motivated to work out or to move their body, when actually it's reversed. So motivation and those feelings you're looking for to feel confident, or to have your voice and speak and feel heard and feel like you can bring a sense of presence to everything you do, comes after you push play or after you work out. So if you can just get it out of the way, even if it's something that's like yoga, like literally just don't think about it. Like yesterday I didn't work out because I thought about it too much, and I waited until the very end of the day, and then I was too tired. So if you can get it out of the way early in the morning before your body knows what's going on, people always say like, I'm so tired in the morning. How do you wake up early? I don't. It's called fucking pre-workout, and I take a shot of that stuff until I'm forced and tingly. And the kind I take is natural, because it's from Beachbody, so it's not like making me feel like I'm cracked out or anything. It's called pre-workout, and I take it and I do it even when I don't feel like it. And some days I miss workouts and whatever, but I'm human. And so, so I take pre-workout because I don't have motivation to wake up early. I don't like waking up. I love to sleep. So that's what I do. And it works, and I move my ass, and I get my ass into the living room. And, if you can't commit to like a program, then maybe just walking around, or maybe just doing jumping jacks, or maybe just doing like a 15-minute workout video from Beachbody on demand, or something that's short like that, is where you can start. And then, if you still really don't feel like doing it after you've taken your pre-workout, maybe just tell yourself, I'll only get through the warm-up. I'll just do 10 minutes and see how I feel. And eventually you're changing your physiology so much that you're literally changing your brain, and those endorphins and chemicals are being released, that you start to feel motivated, and something happens inside of you that it's not your head anymore. It's like your body is literally having chemicals run through it that keep you going forward. And that's called motivation. And that's when motivation hits you. And that's when you remember that feeling and you can connect with it. And you always lose it. I think everyone, loses it. Everyone hates something about it, whether they hate cardio, whether they hate lifting, whether they hate rest day. You know, there's always something someone doesn't like. But if you could just like learn to connect, just know that the second you get into it, you know, make sure you're taking care of yourself, make sure you're sleeping enough, make sure you're eating the right foods, and take it one day at a time, and, you know, get a support group, and be willing to overcommit to something and raise the bar really high. Because sometimes people sell themselves so short, like, oh, I'll just try to cut out sugar, or I'll just try to do fast food like twice a week. That works for some people, but if you've been stuck in the same place and you're struggling with motivation, you need a total life change. You need a total immersion. You need a total complete change of your life, and you need to find that thing, and you need to stick to it, and you need to invest money into it, and you need to have shit on the line that, you know, that you could lose. There has to be a sense of loss if you don't do that thing. And so sometimes it's putting yourself in a really uncomfortable, scary position just so you can get that shit done and feel forced to do it. And that's my personality type. Like, I have to go all in. Like, I have to like commit to doing insanity, and I have to like, you know, totally get grains out of my diet, completely stop drinking alcohol. You know, there's no, I don't have a personality where there's any like this or that, like, because I'm not successful that way. So I go all in when I commit. And I've had to learn that, and I've thought that I've done that before, and I realized that I really didn't, and so I have to try again. And yeah, there's people that are a lot better at it than I am, but what I know I can control is what anyone is more skillful at, or like say the people I compare myself to on social media, whatever they have going for more than me, I know I can outwork them in how many hours I listen to of personal growth. And so that's powerful, you know, because you could always learn more. You don't know how stagnant that person is in their growth. You can easily surpass people that you look up to. And that might be like surprising to hear, but it's totally true if you work inward on yourself more than anything. And if you don't know where to start with that, like you'll start listening to podcasts like Tony Robbins, all of a sudden you'll hear something and you're like, fuck, like I really need to work on that. And you know where to dive deeper, and you'll resonate with things, and you'll hear things over and over again, and it'll inspire you and motivate you to keep working on yourself. And it's like really a beautiful thing. So physiology, motivation comes after you move your body. So stop waiting to feel like it. And then like get in a state of gratitude. So starting, like I usually end my night with like the things that I'm grateful for, and I list them. And so like I used to, like, you know, being a business owner, I used to like go to bed like thinking about like what I needed to do tomorrow, how many more people I needed to talk to tomorrow, how many more workouts I needed to do tomorrow. And what that does is it already puts you in a position of saying that what I'm doing now isn't enough. And that's not motivating for us as humans. So instead, I make a list of the things that a mental list of the things that I'm grateful for. And I try to make it something different every single day, not just like my boyfriend, my apartment, my car, you know. So like it can be like specific things like, I'm grateful today that I was stressed out about this. And even if it's like a negative thing, just like say that you're grateful for it, even if you don't know why yet, or even if it's causing you a lot of pain, you'll figure that out later and the answers will come. But if you complain and you don't say you're grateful for even the negative shit, you'll never grow, and there'll be a cap on it, and you'll never have the answers on what you need to break through anything. So, yeah. So, you know, saying you're grateful for your struggles, or you're grateful that you overate, because you don't even have to have a because. Just be like, I'm thankful that I did that today, because I know I'm going to learn something about myself. And so that can be enough. So I try to make it different every single day. And then I usually go into, right after that, while I'm laying in bed, is I say 5 things that I did well at that day. So it could be like, you know, I did my workout today. I ate an apple today, or I made a Shakeology for breakfast instead of having waffles this morning, even though I really wanted waffles. Or, you know, just little things that you did. Like, you know, I called my mom today and I told her how much I loved her. And, you know, and then you go to bed. So that's the getting grateful part. And then get focused and get into action. So most humans, like if you're feeling like stuck or not motivated, ask yourself, and my coach asked me this, she was like, are you challenging yourself? And I was like, well, no, not really. Like, I'm not challenging myself. Like, I'm just doing things, but I'm not challenging Alexis and where Alexis is at now. And so I started doing that. I started saying, okay, well, I'm going to lift heavier than I ever have before. I'm going to run more than I ever have before. I'm going to eat cleaner than I ever have in years. And I'm going to, grow my business and spend more time on it and more focused energy and do more personal development than I ever have in years. And ever since I started challenging myself, just like she said, super simple, then I started feeling better and I started feeling more motivated, because humans love progress. So if we have something that we're shooting towards, and if we're not challenging, we don't have any measuring stick. If you just set a really basic mediocre goal and you fall short of that, you still feel like shit. So if you really set the bar high and you fall short of it, you still feel fucking good, because you know that you're pushing yourself. So goals in their basic essence, and this was really helpful for me, are just, it's just time and action. So goals aren't really supposed to be that scary. Yeah, they're supposed to be scary, but if you break down what they are in their essence, they're just time and action. So, list out the things, reverse everything. If you have a 1-year goal to own a house, what do you need to do to qualify for that loan? Or how much money do you need to have in your bank account to make a down payment? And then you're like, okay, well, and if you're a business owner, you're like, okay, well, how much do I need to make per month to achieve that goal? And then you're like, okay, well, what do I need to be producing in 1 week to be on track to reach my monthly income goal? And then it's for your day-to-day activities, how many people do I need to talk to every single day to reach my weekly goal? Or how many houses do I need to close on in a month to, if you're in real estate or whatever, to reach your goal? And, and then just check in with yourself and be and be specific. So in the next 3 months, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and make sure you say, I am, not I'm trying, I'm trying to lose weight. If you're trying, you're never going to do it. You have to say, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm losing 20 pounds in the next 6 or 3 months. And you're going to, well, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to do Insanity Max 30 every single day. And I'm going to track my nutrition. I'm not going to go out to eat, but maybe once a week. And, well, how are you going to do that? Well, today I'm going to meal prep. And today I'm going to share my food accountability, so I know people are watching me, and I'm going to get in the habit of doing that every day. So that's that. And then there's priming exercises you can do on here. But just make more use of your time. So while you're traveling or in the car, listen to podcasts on personal growth. They'll change your perspective. Take pre-workout in the morning and work out, and then you'll feel motivated after. And remember, the feeling of feeling motivated comes after you move your body, not before. So don't wait for it, because you'll wait a lifetime. So I hope this really helped. These are the things that keep me motivated. And if you have any other topics that you want me to cover that you think would be helpful, that you're really struggling on, or that you would just like me to talk about, I would love to hear them. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you aren't already. Share this video with your friends. If you're interested in having a one-on-one personal coach, you can make me your free coach by going to tinyurl.com/coachalexis, or you can email me at alexisolsonfitness@gmail.com, and that's Alexis Olson, OLSON fitness @gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching.